Here, on the Temple Mount, we know that the Islamic religion, the Muslims, they have 3 very important places, holy places, that they really revere. The first is Mecca, the second is Medina, and the third is here, the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, here on the Temple Mount. The temple was first built by King Solomon. He built the first temple. And the second temple was built by Zerubbabel. And then third, King Herod the Great did renovation on the temple. In Genesis chapter 22, we see that Abraham sacrificed his son Isaac near Jerusalem. His son Isaac, and that's his name sign, was brought here to this area to be sacrificed. Abraham arrived to Salem, Jerusalem, and he was informed that his son would be born. And then Isaac was born and was given the name Isaac, which means laughter. God said to Abraham, "Take your son to the mountain," which is here, "and go ahead and sacrifice him." And it's really interesting that Isaac said, "Father, Abraham, I see the knife and I see the fire, but where's the sacrifice?" And Abraham said, "Son, Isaac, God will provide a sacrifice." But Abraham did not sacrifice his son, Isaac, because God provided a ram. The Jebusites, the family of Jebus, settled here. And they built Jerusalem, and Jerusalem was called Jebus at the time. The Jebusites lived in the hill country of Jerusalem, maybe near Golgotha, the place of the skull. Golgotha. That area called the Mountain of the Skull. And that's probably where David brought Goliath's head and buried it after the battle, perhaps. God said in Genesis 22:17 that the Jews would be many, there would be many people born and spread out like the stars of the sky. And then when David wanted to buy the land of the Jebus, Jerusalem, they were willing to give it to him freely. They were willing to offer the threshing floor freely. But David said, "No, I must buy it. I will not build an altar that I prepare for God that costs me nothing." Buying Jerusalem allowed Solomon to build the temple later. The temple, the Ark of the Covenant, and the Holy of Holies were here. The world focuses on Jerusalem and this holy area. And then King Solomon, he built the temple here. The Holy of Holies. Where it was exactly, we don't know. But we do know that it was here at the temple that Solomon built. And then later Solomon's temple was destroyed in 586 BC. And then Zerubbabel began building the second temple and completed it in 516 BC. There was a lot of cleansing done of the temple by the Maccabees, the Jewish rebel warriors. They helped to clean the temple. The Maccabees fought and were in war because they did not want to be in relationship with the Gentiles or the Jews. And for 8 days, the Jews celebrated the Feast of Dedication. And Jesus was probably here during the time of Hanukkah. Jesus walked around this area, and he was probably involved in the dedication that occurred at the temple. And the word Hanukkah, that word means dedication. And then later it became a feast of dedication. Anyway, Jesus was probably here at that time, but did he celebrate? We don't know. The money changers, they bought and sold here in this area. The Gentiles couldn't enter this area. They were blocked from coming to this area. It was against the law. It was a serious crime for Jews to bring Gentiles here. If they brought an Ephesian who was a Gentile here, then they could be killed. There are 4 different courts, and Jesus saw a woman whose husband had died, who was a widow, here in this area. The temple area was thought to be a place where Abraham had went to sacrifice his son Isaac. And the Romans wanted to destroy the temple, and then the Romans wanted to set up a temple for Jupiter. Later, the Jews were able to enter Jerusalem again, and this happened during the time of the Byzantines and during their rule. Jesus said that no rock would be left upon one another. No, that the temple would be destroyed.